Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Look who I have back. Some of my favorites, Patty Greer,
Woo!
Burres. Very excited. We're going to be talking about some really interesting things. We always do every time we're together. So C60 EVO and ESS60. And of course, we have the scientist down there, and we have the promoter up here, and she is amazing. The products are amazing. We've been trying them and using them for a long time. And we're happy to come back, and there's amazing specials that are going on. So we're gonna jump in and talk about some brain health and other things, very important these days. So welcome, guys. Thanks for coming back in.
Michael, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you guys. I mean the stuff we got, the rabbit holes we go down as far as health, and the science behind it. I love rabbit holes, but I like the science too. So Patty's a rabbit holer and Chris is a scientist. So I get the best of both worlds when I have these guys together. So I love it.
I think it's helping the company to have Queen Woo Woo and Mr. Straight Guy, because we meet in the middle and we have a really great harmony of integrity. And that's what's important at a time like this.
Yes. And can I have a spoon? We're going to do a little shot.
Oh, yay. Well, I want to say that I had the weirdest breakfast, and it was inspired by Michael Jaco. And I went, wait a minute, why am I doing Popeye this morning? I ate an entire carton of spinach. And I went, Popeye, oh, Jaco, oh, that's why. So just wanted you to know I thought of you as I steamed an entire thing of spinach. And now that and this, I'm going to be wired. Cheers.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Popeye has another fun parallel with our product, because do you remember who his girlfriend is?
Olive oil.
Olive oil.
Yeah,
Olive oil.
Oh, look, see, Mr. He comes up with them, so
yeah.
That was actually
here's Popeye and olive oil. Come over here, olive oil. We'll have olive oil pop in real quick.
The queen. Well, we are really glad to see you. It's been a little while, and you went from the ocean.
You're the queen, but I will be olive oil. I'll be Popeye's olive oil.
You are. So I thought I was in the woods, in the mountains, but you've got all the pine trees behind you, and they look really healthy. So good on you.
They really do. I'm very impressed. We took a little break from Florida. I mean, from Lake Tahoe, went to Florida. And now we're back again, so we're pretty happy. I love the environment here, and we're like in a tree house almost. We're like there's like a mountain, and we're like on the edge of the mountain. The house comes out, so we're like in the trees. Wow. It's beautiful.
You know how to do it. Well, good on you. And we're so glad that you're back on the Evo, because needless to say, we've learned a lot since the last time we chatted with you, and our focus has been on brain health, because we're working on understanding the mitochondria, the powerhouse of every cell. And when we realize that what C60 EVO is doing on a physical level is cleaning, detoxing the mitochondria, the powerhouse of every cell, we're going from really toxic body to a much more elevated frequency of cleaner cells. So the brain, it turns out, has 2 million mitochondria per cell, whereas the rest of the body, other than blood that has none, has 50 to 5,000 mitochondria per cell. So the 2 million says to me that when I take this, no wonder my brain is on fire immediately, because it's firing up and clearing out the mitochondria. And that's a lot of brain health to be able to bring back, as well as that little sweet pineal gland in the back, which has been calcified by who knows what, and then some. So now we're seeing that we're feeling better, we're looking better, and we're anti-aging. I mean, look at Chris. The skin is a teenager, and the mohawk is a teenager.
Both of you guys look fantastic. So
thank you.
We chatted a couple of days ago, and I was quite impressed. Both of you guys look amazing. So very good. I know it's from the C60 EVO, so very good. I've been using it ever since last time we worked together, and now we're working together again. I think that health is very important. I'm always looking for the best stuff. You have the best stuff, I think, in this environment. Now, doing the studies, we've talked about the studies before, And I know you guys are like launching down some incredible different pathways to you know, bring in information about, you know, brain health and skin and you know, other problems. I don't know if I can talk about it, the C cell stuff and you know, stuff that happens with your blood sugar. So there's lots of stuff you guys are moving into that seems to be helping in a lot of areas.
Yeah,
Were we-
yeah. I'll jump in here because that sounds like an invitation to be sciencey and geeky, and so why not? I'll throw my hat in the
Love
ring here. We couldn't be more excited at this point. You know, we're actually starting a number of clinical trials. And, you know, first off, it's amazing that we're a supplement company that's doing clinical trials. Like many supplement companies don't do research, even more don't even publish that research. Our lab actually published research in May of last year and then in June of this year. So it's pretty fantastic. The study that we're currently working on, well, the key one that I'm really excited about is a migraine study. And we, of course, have to be careful with the FDA, and I might as well throw out the disclaimer now. The FDA has not evaluated our product. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. And you're showing a list of a lot of publications that are about this ESS60 molecule. By the way, let's throw it out. Maybe, you know, maybe the audience doesn't know what this molecule is. So I'm currently holding up a model of the molecule. The molecule ESS60 looks like a soccer ball. It was discovered in 1985. The scientists who discovered it won the Nobel Prize for that discovery. They thought the molecule would be toxic, right? That makes everybody a little bit nervous. So they put it in a toxicity study. Instead of being toxic, the test subjects that they gave it to, in this case, Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group. Like, that's the single longest longevity experimental result on mammals in history, peer-reviewed, published research. Very proud to share our lab provided the material. Our lab is mentioned in that original study. So I can share, we have to be very careful, not claiming we address migraines. We have to do this study to even be able to come close to that. What I will share is why we're doing this migraine study. Pretty exciting. I am the geeky guy that you see in front of you. I have a spreadsheet back to 2014 where I was tracking my 4 to 5 migraines per year. Migraines are horrible. If you've ever had a migraine, you know, often they are go in a dark place, get under the covers, no sound, no light. It ruins your day. And that's why I was tracking them. I was trying to figure out what caused them and how do I stop them. In 2018, I started taking this product on a regular basis, and I went 18 months without a single migraine. That's about 5, 6, maybe even 7 migraines that I should have had in that time period, but I didn't have. And then at that 18-month mark, I actually went off the product to join our sleep study. By the way, we have a sleep study. It's a small cohort of people, but 100% of the people in that study have reported improvements in their sleep. So that is absolutely on the table. So I get my migraine at 18. So here I should have had whatever 6 to 7 migraines. I finally get one because I go off the product, and I am always transparent. I do get about 1 or 2 migraines a year still, but here's how they look. If you've ever had a migraine, there's a thing called an aura. It's like a little sliver of your vision that looks like a kaleidoscope. For me, it starts on the edge. It migrates into the middle of my field of vision. I can work through it, right? I could do a podcast. I could record video content. It's really not that painful. It's hard to read. I don't know if you've ever thought about reading through a kaleidoscope. It's not a pleasant experience. It's like cryptography. And it is actually even, I can read, you know, on the edges. I just have to read kind of the letters that are on the edge. And It is actually painful. So I don't try to do that. But compare that with being in bed with the lights off, with no sound. Like, I'd rather have what I have now. So that's one of the reasons that we're starting this migraine study. I don't want to, I mean, we've got a bunch more. I know Patty has kind of a migraine study, so I don't want to kind of, you know, steal all of the time here.
I don't get migraines. So when he said I have a migraine study, I just have a testimonial, actually, because I've never had a migraine. Don't plan to. My mom is 96 and still cooking. Like, she can remember things that happened when I was 10. All of her friends are wailing around her, failing is what I meant to say. And she is like still reading novels that are thick. And no, they're not love fantasy novels. They're like historic. But at 96, she's still like really present. And her helper, who comes in 5 days a week for a few hours, you know, to keep her going, finally tried her Evo. And 3 days later, she called me and she said, I'm not sure what's in what your mom's taking, but all of a sudden my migraines went away. And I said, you had migraines? And she said, oh, Patty, I get a shot every 3 months. I have had the most debilitating, I don't know how many decades. She's in her 50s, but she said, your product completely helped. So I sent her a bottle immediately. And now it's been almost a year. I send her, when I send my mom, I send one for her also. And she hasn't had one, not one. And she quit her shots like a couple months after starting the Evo because she realized she didn't have any. Now, when I think of something working this well for something that debilitating, that's when we look at, again, the mitochondria in the brain. In my opinion, and I've never had one, you know, I mean, all I know is put your feet in ice in a bathtub or, you know, and everybody's got all these drugs that they take and the gripping testimonials of people that said for years and I couldn't go out and it must have been awful. But we did a show with Next News Network. Oh, if somebody's doing a help. So we did a show with Next News Network, who you probably know, Gary Franchi, and it dropped yesterday, Sunday. And during the interview, he didn't say it, but he started by saying, I'm really sad. I ran out of my olive oil and I'm Greek. So, you know, I said, turn the bottle upside down. And he had 4 ounce and an 8 ounce. So I said, turn them both upside down because they're both empty. We will airdrop you, you know, like some Evo. And so he didn't say that he was starting to get a migraine while we were doing our interview, but we're like 30 minutes in and I see him take both bottles, take off the cap, you know, like kind of awkward, licking out the cap.
It was interesting to watch. Like it was, I don't, yeah, he really wanted more and we didn't know why. I mean, there was a reason he wanted more. Yeah.
It was really interesting. And all of a sudden he just stopped the interview. And he said, you know, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have to tell you, I was getting a migraine. I didn't know if I'd be able to continue the show, he said. We're like, we didn't notice. And he said, I started getting that halo when Chris was mentioning it, like you did a minute ago. And it started to, and he said, so I just, you know, thank God you told me to turn it over and I'm licking the lid. He said it went away within minutes. I feel completely back. And he did it live on the show. So when it dropped yesterday, a lot of people reacted, needless to say, that are tolerating migraines because there it was, like live in your face. We didn't know he was coming on to maybe having to stop the interview, but he didn't have to stop it. And he said, now I'm ready to go for the rest of the day. So I mean, we just keep seeing, in my opinion, I call them miracles because they've referred to it as the miracle molecule since it won the Nobel Prize in 1996 for its excellence in almost every application. But back then it was used and made by Chris's lab for industrial purposes, ink, batteries, tires. You don't want to put that in your body. That's industrial. And it was expensive because C60 is very, very expensive to make. Their lab blew my mind, and it's 100 degrees in there. Of course, they're in Houston, so they're used to 100 degrees. But the lab was really hot, really huge, really clean. Everything was massive to my eyes. I'd like never been in a real lab, and it was marvelous. But to realize that at the end of the tour, it's this black powder in this long glass thing and they clean and clean and clean. But it wasn't until we opened C60 EVO in 2019 that we upgraded industrial grade to become ESS60, elemental safe spheres with 60 carbon atoms. And the difference was industrial grade ink and batteries and tires, ESS60 for people and pets. And that's why we're called C60 EVO, because we represent the evolution of what they've been selling for 34 years, industrial, up to the prime stuff for people and pets. And the reason we did that was because of the 2012 Paris Bhakti study on toxicity. And I'll let Chris take it because They used his products in 2012, and then we evolved the whole industry into the evolution of clean ESS60, and now we're all anti-aging.
Yeah, well, so I've mentioned the study already, right? And I'll add another piece, because at one point our director of research came to me and said this original study could have been 5 separate research papers. So much was going on in it. So a typical Wistar rat lives out 32 months and has a known amount of tumor mass in its body. So the longer it lives, the more tumor mass it has in the body. Even though the C60 EVO rats lived out to 62 months, again, 90% longer, which is amazing, none of them had any tumors. Now, I've told this story before and people are like, oh, cure for cancer. And I'm like, no. And then I follow that with another, no, that is not what we're saying. There's a very big difference between dealing with a cancer that has metastasized versus being a cancer, potentially a cancer preventative. And we know things as good as simple as good nutrition, good exercise, good sleep are cancer preventatives. I will add, there is one piece to this. There's patents related to the molecule for it being a treatment for cancer in pets. So there's strong indications here. There's also one Petri dish study that I like to reference. By the way, Petri dish studies, some of the lowest level of studies, because taking something from a Petri dish into an animal or into a human, like that's a big jump. But this is fascinating. So you take a Petri dish and you have cancer cells and healthy cells in the Petri dish. You introduce an anti-cancer agent, which is a poison, right? The goal is to poison the cancer cells before the healthy cells. In the presence of the ESS60 molecule, there's increased efficacy of that anti-cancer agent and protective effects. So more of the cancer cells die when you have the presence of ESS60, and less of the healthy cells die in the presence of ESS60. So there's some pretty phenomenal, and we have some theories on why that might be going on, but that's pretty powerful research coming out of that original Paris-Batti study.
Yeah, that's amazing, because you guys are the ones that are creating the real stuff. There's knockoffs out there. We've talked about that in other shows in the past, but you guys are the ones that really make the good stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, the way you package it and everything, it's amazing, because you put it in these purple bottles that keeps it safe.
Yep.
And the way you present it, like this is one of my favorites of all time.
Mine too.
The way that, you know, it's in this dispenser, incredible. So you give a little push and it gives you a little dot, like I'm going to use on my face, because I love it. So I put it on my face and it just absorbs right away. And earlier I took some of the more recent stuff. I haven't tried this yet. So I was like, the body cream. Ooh. So I put the body cream on my hands, soaked it right up. And I take the capsules every day. Been taking them for a long time. So they're also in this, you know, so sunlight won't disturb it. And then the capsules themselves are like protected. So very, very, you guys didn't spare any expense, I believe, in putting this stuff together. And that's one of the things I love about your products. Very, very amazing.
Yeah, our lab delivers. It's really fun that Chris runs the lab. I run the promotional part, but it's the easiest thing I've ever promoted because I know it works. My family takes it. My friends take it. Everybody I give it to, I just kind of watch the orders, 2-3 days, boom, they ordered, because it works. So it's not like I give it to receive orders, but I give it to see if I can help people feel better. And I know that it works for me. And since I saw you last, you wouldn't believe it, I've had 2 complete hip replacements. And after the first one, which was almost 2 years ago in December, 5 days later, I called Chris and I said, I'm good for the show today. Let's do it.
I was like, what? Like, it's only 5 days.
And I said, from here up, and here means my chest that's hiding behind my name sign. From my chest up, you know, I'm great, because the dang stuff, plus I have the big juicy bottle, the stuff is so good for the mind. that it brought me back instantly. Plus, I don't like downers, pain pills, any of that does not appeal to me. So I didn't even ask permission from the doctor, because when I tried to give him, the surgeon, a sample, which is always in my purse in my car, they were like, oh, no, no, no. And I said, this is why I went an extra year bone on bone, because I didn't hurt. And they're going, oh, that's not possible. I'm like, it's possible. So it's hard for people to believe that it's really this good. But I lived through 2 hip replacements, and both of them, I had no pain afterward. I didn't even need their pain medications. I did it respecting and honoring my body and my systems for 48 hours maybe, but then I was like instantly off any of the drugs other than what you need to do to keep your blood flow, aspirin or something after surgery. But I was right back in the Evo, and my recoveries have been great. But what was strange was that, and I'm speaking to all of your audience that has bone and hip and elbow and knee and ankle, I mean, joint issues, there's nothing better that I have ever tried. And I have 2 shoe boxes of supplements, and you take them every day, you know, like a pile of them, and you don't feel anything. Take a spoonful of that, and it's like, what? So I love the immediate benefits, but also the long-term benefits, because I sleep better than ever before. And once I start my morning with the Evo coffee, I'm on fire until 9 when I just crash. But you gave us probably one of the best testimonials of all time with your toe and crab story. Can you share that? Because that's just one of the toppers.
That's a good one. So yeah, when I was a little boy, I'd say barely memories of this. I love the beach. I've always loved the water, the little water, froggy boy. And so we went down to a tidal pool in the ocean. So we lived in Columbia, South Carolina. We go to Charleston, South Carolina, and my great aunt had a place right on the water. So we go to the beach. So my cousin was like, she wasn't liking that she had to, babysit me. So I had my little round rubber, floaty type thing. And I don't know if it had a little thing in front, but I was very excited. I wanted to get in the water, and she's like, get in there, Michael. And so I was like, I obey my elders. So she was older than me. So I went and jumped in the water. And before I went in, there was a man that said, honey, I wouldn't have them go in there. That's where the crabs, they're getting the crabs. And so there was like, you see all these lines are going in with little pieces of chicken on them. So I'm kind of hesitant. And she says, go ahead, Michael. So I jump in, and I'm like, oh, happy. And then a crab came up and got my big toe and went like that. And I'm like, ah. And she's like, oh, quit faking. You're not even, nothing's happened to you. So I got out, my toe was like cracked. So it was cracked like that. It just kept growing, cracked, and never healed up until I used C60 EVO. And then I noticed after a while that it was healed up. Unbelievable. Yeah.
60 years later?
Yeah, probably about 55, 60. Well, yeah, I guess 60 years later. So we're looking at about 5 years ago. So yeah, it's great stuff. Amazing.
That is we do share that, because when we start talking about the BOSS theory, and we could talk about that if you wanted, which is the buffering oxidative stress system. We say that what we believe we're doing is reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria, and the fact that there's so many mitochondria and so many cells in our body, and every cell in our body except for blood cells. Then if you are reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria, you should have what we have, which are head to toe testimonials. And our toe testimonial is your crab testimonial.
I'm glad to be there for you. So one of the ones that I'm very interested in, we talked about the mitochondria in the brain. Now there looks like the study on the rats with the cognitive function. I kind of looked into that because, like you, Chris, I'm a science guy. But I'm also like Patty. I go down rabbit holes. But this is very interesting. The cognitive function, and it gives some studies in here that in the National Library of Medicine. So this is fascinating. cognitive function, of course, many of us, especially as you get older, like myself, but I've noticed that everybody these days seems to be having cognitive, lapses and function problems. What can you say about the cognitive function?
Yeah. So, and I would lump, because it's all driven by our neurons, I would lump
Mhm.
cognitive function also with sleep, and then also with kind of emotional balance, right?
Brilliant. Yep.
So, again, your mitochondria in your brain cells, you have about 2 million mitochondria. It's amazing how much energy our nervous system uses relative to our other systems. And let me kind of outline this BOSS theory. So, buffering oxidative stress system. So, from peer reviewed published research, we know that this ESS60 molecule gets into the mitochondria. We also know from way back in the 90s that this molecule can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles on the exterior of this cage. So how does that translate? Well, first off, we'll roll back a little bit of background, basic biology. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. There's between 50 and 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body. Again, except for your blood cells, which have 0, and your brain and neurons, which have 2 million. Like every power source, there is a negative byproduct. You think about your car going down the road, it's got exhaust. You think about a power plant, it's got smoke coming out of the smokestack. In the case of the mitochondria, it's reactive oxygen species. These are, the way I kind of picture them, they're like little bumper cars. Everything they smack into, they're causing rust, oxidative stress, oxidative damage. Internal to the mitochondria, you have 2 antioxidants to manage those reactive oxygen species, and that's glutathione and melatonin. I do like to pause here because melatonin is the sleep hormone, and one of our most consistent testimonials, people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. So you've got this nice parallel of melatonin being involved in this. So that glutathione and melatonin are responsible for holding on to or bonding to those reactive oxygen species so they don't act like little bumper cars causing rust and damage. But what happens when you stress your mitochondria, right? The first question is, well, how do you stress your mitochondria? I like to point out, you live in this modern society. You have stressed mitochondria, right? You may have a little bit less because the view out is so relaxing, and you'll probably have less exposure to things like pollution, certainly drinking and smoking and taking an airplane ride. You'll get increased exposure to EMF radiation. All of these things will stress your mitochondria, and now it's producing more reactive oxygen species than can be managed internally. And that's where the ESS60 molecule comes in, right? So again, we know from peer-reviewed published research, it's in the mitochondria. We know from way back in the 90s, it can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles. So we believe this holds on to those reactive oxygen species, so they can't run around like little bumper cars and do damage. And then when that mitochondria replenishes the glutathione and replenishes the melatonin, then it can manage those reactive oxygen species appropriately. And that's why we say the ESS60 molecule is the boss, the buffering oxidative stress system. And like I mentioned earlier, what we fundamentally believe is going on is we're reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria. And if you do that, you should have head-to-toe testimonials just like we do.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And we focused before in the past on the mice study, the rat study, and mice and rats, and they used ESS60 that you guys produced in the study, and it basically turned these mice and rats lived longer. They should have died in a certain period of time, especially with cancer cells and so forth problems, but they lived like, what was it, like twice as long or something crazy?
90% longer than the control group.
Unbelievable.
Longest longevity results on lab animals in history by far.
Wow. It's like and that right there is like a no-brainer after that. Just like, okay, where do I sign up? Where do I get this? So,
right.
And you just go down all these different studies, muscle fatigue, aging. Hello, everybody wants, to reverse that thing. And then of course, diabetes, like we talked about, and you're talking about neuronal and kidney damage. Of course, we can't, say it's going to absolutely work for everybody, but there are studies out there that show some positive results. So there's many different things: the cognitive function, the treatment or preventative, I would like to say, of that cancer. Muscle fatigue. I'm a workoutaholic, so I love that. Aging, anti, and even reversing the clock. Look at you guys. I mean, everybody look at. I mean, it's amazing. And then the diabetes study. So we have a lot of good stuff in the skincare and inflammatory study conditions. This one right here, the inflammatory conditions. Let's jump into that a little bit, because that is the key. And it's a precursor for almost every disease out there. If you have inflammation, it's like, okay, you could be having some problems here. You know, I have a friend that has he's a young guy, and I don't know what he got exposed to. It might be something like happened to you at one time, Patty, because he's into the alternative space for you know, aliens and all that kind of stuff. But he has all of his like liver, heart. They want to replace them all. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, we need to send them some of this stuff. But you know, there are some stuff that has been turned around. Tell us a little bit about the inflammation, and then we'll go into skincare, because skincare, I think, is you know, unbelievable from you guys.
So the first time that I really started thinking about inflammation was when, you know, my role, I was the chief scientist for a carbon nanomaterial manufacturer, right? So we are the oldest and longest manufacturer of this molecule on the planet. We've been manufacturing and distributing it since 1991. As we shifted into the supplement space, I'm now the chief scientist of a supplement company. And my job is to figure these things out. Like, why did these rats live longer? What's the potential reason for that? And one of the things I did is I looked at the medical community and what they think about aging. And they don't all agree. That's how science works. But they tend to agree, like collectively, that it's an oxidation and an inflammation process. And if you think about oxidation, there's an ad hoc study out on the web showing us to be 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. And then there's peer-reviewed published research showing us to be 125 times more powerful than vitamin C, right? Remember, vitamin C, like we're actually going into kind of cold and flu season. That's the thing people lean on, or like drink some orange juice, drink some, you know, have some vitamin C if you're getting the sniffles. We're talking from peer-reviewed published research, 125 times more powerful than vitamin C. I live in Texas, so we put a big old check mark next to antioxidant. When it comes to anti-inflammatory, we have to be really careful because the FDA equates conversations of inflammation with the diseases of inflammation, which are also the diseases of aging. So this is arthritis, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, cancer. So if I come on your show and I say, hey, we solve inflammation, what the FDA hears is me claiming we cure cancer, we cure cardiovascular disease. We are not claiming that. There is so much research that we would need to do, and extremely expensive research, to be able to make that claim. What the FDA will allow us to say is we address inflammation related to exercise, right? So we've all had a tough workout, right? We had that tough workout, maybe just walked farther one day than we normally do and felt that inflammation in our body. In that case, we're allowed to say we address that type of inflammation. So I can't put a big old check mark next to it. I can put a little check mark next to it. There is one biological age study. Actually, I've taken 3 that are, I can share them real quick because I think they're really fascinating and they fit right into this arena. I was at an event. I bumped into this guy, this table. He has this technology, ESR, and it's your erythrocyte sedimentation rate. He's looking at the inflammation in your blood, and they do this by measuring the rate at which blood plasma separates from blood cells. I have to get a little geeky there. Anyway, he had an age test of his test, and I took his test, and it had me 20 plus years younger biologically than my chronological age. So that's a great test. I'm very happy. The next one was glycan age, and glycan age actually, when I took that test, had me 34 years younger. And glycan age, what they're looking at is glycans. These are sugar molecules and how they connect with cells in your body, which ultimately is an indication of inflammation again. And so that test had me 34 years younger. At the time, it had me at 21. I was like, do I even want to be younger than 21? Can I drink if I'm biologically younger than 21? I don't know. So very happy with that. Now, the next test, I'm not really happy with, but I'm happy with the direction. So when I was 51, I took that test and it had me at 59. And I was like, I'm working hard. I'm doing the right things. Like, how is this possible? I was a little disappointed. I took that test 3 years later and it had me at 58. So I should have been 3 years older biologically. I actually had gone back 1 year. So that's a benefit of 4 total years, right? Because I didn't age forward 3 years, I aged backward. So I don't, it's not my favorite. It's a good test, but I don't like the results as much, but I do like the direction. So those are things that I would share, kind of related to this biological age situation.
Oh, very good. And let's look at the skin, Patty.
Let's look at the skin of this Harley rider, 50,000 miles, no helmet, no windshield. When Chris met me, I was a tough chick. Plus, I was freshly poisoned on uranium, so I had a little attitude. But now my skin is soft. It's easy to smile. My personality is better because C60 EVO works. But it's not just the skin. It's my nails. I need to cut my nails again. I'm like, God, everything is really mass producing. My hair, I'm like, what are you doing out here? But hair grows, skin, new cells grow, nails grow. So that's how I know. And I always bring it back to, I'll give you the simpleton version of all the science rhetoric that the boys just did. Basically, what Chris is saying with all this mitochondria and, all this talk is that it is ultimately detoxing our systems head to toe. So what we're doing is we're living in a really toxic world. Our water, blah, blah. Our food, blah, blah. The things in the arm that a lot of people went through, really challenging. So our food, every other video is the 10 foods you should never eat. This butters are bad. I'm like, leave me alone. We know that we really screwed up the planet until the new people came in to office. And I don't know if your audience is pro-America now, but I would think so, because we've got two options of hell and heaven right now on earth. We've got consciousness or complete deviance. In my opinion, the uranium was complete deviance. It's darkness trying to take down the light. When I watch all of the unbelievable exposure on your show and all the other shows, the news, which I can't get enough of, it's like eating dessert all day long because everybody's being caught and exposed. But I keep waiting. So what day are we going to wake? And it's just going to be one after another confession tribunal. I think that's coming. And I remember 10 years ago when we were going deep state, like we had to whisper that. Now it's everywhere. Everybody knows what we knew 10 years ago. So let's get things changing. And the one thing that we can change is just an inside job. If you wake up every day and say, I'm going to take care of me, I'm going to be the best version of myself I can be. Big spoon, bottle, put it in your mouth before noon. And I think that everybody's going to be amazed at their brain coming back, their memories coming back. And we can talk about it being a coincidence because we have to these days, or a coinkydink, whatever the word might be. But it is a great coincidence that everybody I know is benefiting from the EVO. And the rich body cream that you held up that I sent you, all of my family's like, I want to take a bath in it.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
And you smell so good. And so our products are not just pure ESS 60, which is the high end of the whole carbon industry, but we also blend it with really important ingredients of excellence, such as our olive oil comes from a farm in Tunisia. It's cold pressed, extra virgin, organic, and we don't sometimes grab a few cases at some store like Costco or something. We only buy from the farm so that our oil is top shelf. And a lot of people, they'll taste it and go, yikes, it's really good olive oil, like that peppery flavor in the back of your throat. Italians absolutely love us. Greeks just love us. On the other hand, sissies go, oh, it's so strong. It's like, well, yeah. And we have 3 different flavors, to choose from. But the olive oil is the one that we choose for all the peer-reviewed studies because it holds more ESS60 than any other what do you call it? Base?
Oil.
Well, oil, but whatever it is that we load it into. When people say, well, does it have this in it or that? And it's like, no, it's organic olive oil from Tunisia and the miracle molecule. We blended in our amazing lab for 3 weeks in these huge turning, I'm from Colorado, cauldrons. Chris calls them vessels. That's the difference, of us.
I have a picture. There is a witch who's on top, like actually stirring it slowly.
Don't call me names when I'm stirring. Anyway. Oh, I
Now,
mean,
we could do a whole show, I believe, and I want to, just on olive oil and the benefits. Unbelievable with the type of olive oil that you're using. If you're getting it, from the store, probably not as good, guys. You have to really dig deep. And again, it's a monetary issue. And that's why we like to, look at the products and what you guys are offering right now. You're offering incredible. I mean, I looked at this, I'm like, what? What? The
They went
prices of
crazy
this
since the
stuff
last
are
time we
just,
connected.
let's look at some of this. Of course, you're going to scroll through, you're going to see my lovely face there. And so, we're in the right spot. So look at these deals, guys. Tell us about these deals. Unbelievable.
This is something we've never done.
Yeah.
I didn't know if Chris just got back from partying and dancing with his wife or what. He was in too good of a mood, but he goes, I said, listen, we got to do something for the holidays because people are hurting across America. That's my reason. His reason was whatever it was. I just grabbed it and said, let's go. 40% off if you buy 6 of our top 2 sellers. So we have a quantity of 6, which means keep 3 for yourself and give 3 as gifts, or keep 6 for yourself. But our top 2 sellers consistently are the olive oil, the C60 EVO organic olive oil. And if you buy a couple, you get a discount. If you buy 3, you get a nice discount. But if you buy 6, you get 40% off, which is unheard of for C60 EVO. You will not find it on our website or any social media. This 40% off is only available through your landing page and the influencers that we are lucky enough to work with. So it's only your audience and the others that will be able to get this discount. But our other top seller, which we've talked about, is our Advanced Facial Serum plus the olive oil. So it's the combo of inside and out. We call it the C60 EVO starter set. But I use both these products daily, and I'm feeling good. I smell wonderful. Yeah, everything smells good, because I was starting to say it's not just the quality of the ingredients, but also we work with a formulator who is an herbalist. And she also is a master of aromatherapy. So every product has this aroma that takes you into kind of a higher state, a higher frequency. And we do that with intention, said the hippie girl from Boulder, because I like the Tangerine Dream Body Cream. You smell it, it makes you happy. I love this C60 EVO Advanced Facial Serum because it's got the rosemary oil that they say takes your dreams into a higher space. In the morning, it lights you up. You'll notice I am almost out of this bottle. This is when I'm really glad to be a co-owner of the company, because I don't buy anything else. I only use EVO because why would I want to tamper with anything less? So the advanced facial serum and the olive oil, again, you buy 6 sets, 3 for you, 3 for your friends that you care about, or keep all 6. But you'll be stocked up for 6 months if you do our 40% off special. I don't know how long it'll go. We guarantee till the end of the year. And we are selling it like crazy because people want to stock up.
I bet.
And 40% off, it takes your $100 bottle down to $62.50 or something. And that's a great deal for a 4-ounce bottle of oil. A 4-ounce bottle will give you a teaspoon a day for 26 days, which most people, that'll last a month easy. And the 8-ounce bottle will get you a tablespoon a day, which is for people with more detoxing to do, or bigger bodies, or that want more punch. You'll definitely feel it. Teaspoon, you'll notice a lot. Tablespoon, get back, Jack. You're going to be on fire. So I personally go tablespoon, and I'm only a little thing 5'2", but I had a lot of detoxing to do, and now life is good again.
Yeah, and what I love about this, Patty, is I know you're deep into you know, alternative type stuff like I am, but this is Tesla like technology that we have right now, and Chris and you guys and you are still alive to present it. You know, they stole all his information, and we don't really have access to it the way that we do with ESS 60 right now. So that's fabulous. So there's obviously since the last I met you guys and last we were talking, there's unbelievable amounts of products now that you guys have.
Yep.
Look at that. That's colorful and it looks really good. It looks really good on my skin too. That tangerine dream set. So you can go through each one of these. You know, if you want to like go big, you're going to save. That's what I like to do. I always like to save. And so I usually go big with this stuff. So really amazing product. And the lip stuff, guys. That's why my lips look so lovely right now, because I'm using this incredible lip balm. And you guys sent it to me a little while ago, and so I've been using it. I haven't gotten chapped lips in a while, but here I am up here where it's dry and cold, and I need it. So I'm so glad. Thank you so much for having us. And like you were talking about, it lasts. You put it on in the morning, it's good all day. You don't
Yeah.
have to keep putting it on all day long, like not like most lip balms.
What's nice also about our products is you can read the ingredients and understand every ingredient. A lot of products that I perhaps used to buy that were super expensive and elitist, you can't pronounce anything and you got to wonder, where did that come from? Doesn't sound natural. And I don't go to other products anymore. I have my face with Evo, my lips with Evo, my interior body, my morning coffee. It just works. And when you travel, a lot of people love the capsules that you were speaking about. And we only do them in the olive oil because it's the strongest and the best.
Yeah.
So when people decide that they want to give it a go, we recommend you'll save 20% if you sign up for a monthly subscription. And you're not obligated. If you don't love it, you can cancel at any time. But last year we had 53% of our customers were resubscribes. Now we're up to 70%. So in my opinion, that's a worldwide testimonial that most of our customers choose to stay on subscription, whereas we just send it to you once a month until you say no, thank you. The very few people that have said no, thank you, we kind of laugh and we go, a week, 10 days. We always hear back, oh God, yeah, please. And it's not like some people say, oh, is it addictive? No. But is feeling better and looking better addictive? Yeah. Yeah. The elements of how great you feel, that's what we're hooked on, which is, why we don't want to get off the product. But, it's great to go in and out of anything so that you can really understand, wow, this really does benefit me. And I haven't stopped because I don't want to. I've still got a little detoxing to do, but for me, it's about watching news morning till night, and the middle of the night when I get up sometimes. Yeah, I'll crank on a show or two and just sit there glued because I'm having so much fun watching the evolution of humanity.
Yeah.
And we have all been an important part of it. We 3, 4, there's Miss T back there. You got to be strong to do this work and to not give in or give up or fall for the BS, because they're spending a lot of money to deliver a lot of BS. But when you've got C60 EVO brain, I'm going to say we're kind of untrickable. So I feel untrickable because I take this product every day.
Lovely.
I did want to add, Patty was like, why did Chris do this special? It's because of kind of what she was talking about. Some people were like, oh, I don't really notice anything, and then they drop off. And we really think about this product as a 3-month. So you think about our most consistent testimonial, people take it in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. So what we look for, what our testimonials kind of show is on month 1, that focus and energy. And the testimonial that I'll share kind of in that realm, a lady put together a video for us. She took the product in the morning. That evening, she shared the video with us, and she shared that she didn't finish her cup of coffee. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, that's a big deal. Like the fact that you mentioned it and the fact that you notice it. I will share, I was a 2 to 3 cup of coffee person per day prior to taking this. Now I'm kind of like a half to a cup of coffee. And it's more about, you know, the experience of making my coffee and drinking it. It's less about the fact that I need it because of that focus and energy. Month 2, we're really looking at that sleep component. I'll share, my business coach says it this way. For 50 years, he needed an alarm clock to wake up. As soon as he started taking this formula, he wakes up before the alarm clock. Now, he's a business coach, so he's doing late night mixers and late dinners and all that stuff. None of that matters. What does matter is if he goes off of it for about 10 days, he needs to start taking, he needs the alarm clock again. So that's where we look there. Now, as this improvement, as this reduction in stressed mitochondria, the negative impact starts happening, we see that in month 3. We have to be careful. You know, all the testimonials are amazing. What I'll share is my father-in-law was actually using a cane, and that had slowed him down. When he started taking this right around the 3-month mark, he didn't use the cane anymore. That subsequently caused him to walk a lot more. So not because of our product, but because he was walking more, he actually lost weight. And that's really how we kind of map out month 1, 2, and 3 on the product.
Yeah, very, very amazing. So there are many testimonials. I'm glad you talked about how, over time you're going to have more benefits. So you need to stay on the product and to get the longer term benefits, but you're going to get it right away, like we've been talking about. It's going to affect you in multiple ways very quickly. That's why we all love the product. And a lot of people are talking about how they have migraines. They're going to be using the product in the chat. So that's great. Looking forward to, hearing from results that people are getting. We'll get that over time. So thanks so much to you guys for coming in and sharing this amazing product. It's great to be back with you and sharing this product. I think it's working wonders for the world, and we look forward to more discussions.
Thank you so much,
Great.
Michael.
Do you want to give them the link so that they can find your landing page?
Yes, it's in the description box, and also put it in the chat.
Awesome. Stay well, everybody, and we love you guys. Really glad to be back with you, Michael.
Yes, love you guys. Thanks a lot.